What's going on, guys? Alex here with 814ADC, and today I'm ready to do my full review on the Vosteed Raccoon. So this is a pretty popular budget knife that I'm sure you guys have probably seen floating around the community. It's a pretty new knife on the scene. I want to say it came out end of October, early November, somewhere around there. I think I got it, early to mid-November. So it's only been out for a month and a half, give or take. And it's gained a lot of popularity for its price point and the materials you're getting and the action. And I've seen a lot of different people saying how it is, the best budget button lock that you can get on the market today. And I would have to agree. Now, I haven't handled, all of the budget button locks that have been out within the past year, half a year to a year. But I know that there has been, kind of a influx in the market. It's been kind of a flooded market per se of, button locks that are made sub $100. Kaiser has had some, CGRB has had some, who else? Those are the two main ones that I can think of, but there has been, other ones that have come out with them. But to me, this, for the combination of the materials, the action, the fit and finish you're getting for the price tag, in my opinion, it's too good to pass up on. So I think this is I think as of right now is the king of budget button locks. And, I think it's a great knife, for the price and everything like that. I really have enjoyed my time with it. I think it's gonna, find a nice spot in the collection. I don't have a whole lot of budget button locks. I actually only have two button locks in general. I have this one and the Kaiser original, which I love. But yeah, it's just a good knife, and I'm really glad Vosteed has come out with it. So if you guys aren't super familiar with Vosteed, they are kind of also a newer knife retailer, maker, whatever you want to call them. Of course, they're a Chinese brand, but they have a couple different models out right now. So they originally came out with the Bellamy, which is, I think it was made by Kaiser from what I've understood. I don't know who these are made by, if Vosteed is their own entity now and they make their own knives, or if they, are just a designing company and have them made by somebody, kind of like how O-Knife and O-Light is made by Kaiser. So originally they had the Bellamy, then they had the Nightshade, then they had the Nightshade Light version, which was a cheaper model of the Nightshade. Then as of more recently, they had the Raccoon and the Thunderbird, which is also a button lock. It was a little bit more premium version than this. I think they went for around 120 bucks, or sorry, 120, 130 bucks. They also have some chef's knives, some kitchen knives, stuff like that. They have a really cool, like, bomb looking EDC pry bar. And then they also have some flashlights on their website. So as always, the website will be linked down below directly to Vosteed if you're interested in checking these out, which I'll remind you guys at the end of the video. But yeah, so unfortunately the Raccoon is sold out in all three color variations. So here I have the green micarta, and then they also have a black micarta and a blue micarta as well. And then you can enter to win some limited edition ones on the website, which are, I believe, red and green aluminum. So I'm hoping eventually they come out with the aluminum ones, for everybody to buy, because I definitely think I might be picking one of those up just for a little bit more premium feel. But the micarta feels fantastic. So, that's a good lead into the materials. So of course, this is a button lock, green micarta, has a micarta backspacer here. You have a stone-washed 14C28N blade, Raccoon right there, Vosteed. And it's a very simple, it's kind of like a drop point and a spear point combined. It's a very handsome looking blade. I think it's very, comes down to a nice thin edge. Doesn't have an overly thick blade stock. You have a finger choil here. You have a groove here on the handle, and then it tapers off here towards the back, and then tapers more towards the very end of the knife. You have a loop over style deep carry pocket clip that doesn't go deep into the pocket. You do have a little bit sticking out right there. I kind of wish they would have backed that up. And that's like my one gripe with this knife, is I wish they would have made this a true deep carry clip, but it works well. It's very thin, rides in the pocket super duper well. And then there is a filler tab over here, so you can switch it lefty or righty carry depending on if you are a lefty or righty. The scales, are pocketed and skeletonized, so it's a very lightweight knife. Makes it feel more premium. I love when budget knives have, pocketed or inset liners. It just makes it feel more premium, knowing that like you can't really see them, if you guys know what I'm saying. It's just something that I've always really enjoyed about how budget blades feel. I just love when they do that. So there is a lanyard tube right there for anybody that likes lanyards. It is a flat grind, but like I said, it comes down to a very thin edge, very usable, very utilitarian, workable knife in blade shape there. The pocket clip screws and the pocket clip is inset and recessed into the scale, so that's a really nice touch. Also makes the budget knives feel more premium as well. And I think that is all for materials, so we're going to jump right into action. This, of course, has dual thumb studs, so the middle finger flick comes out very well. Or middle finger flick? The thumb flick, excuse me. Thumb flick comes out very well. Middle finger flick comes out very well. Just a very snappy, fun, and fidget-friendly knife. The detent, sometimes when you have the button lock knives, they're kind of hard to nail the detent. Everybody is trying to basically chase the Malibu. You guys all know the ProTech Malibu and the Mordax in a lesser sense, but those are kind of the king of the budget, of the button lock models right now, and all these companies are kind of looking up towards it. Civivi, that was another budget brand that I forgot was making button locks, which I have handled a few of those as well. But yeah, they're kind of just chasing ProTech. They're kind of just wanting to, look up. They're looking up to them, but at the same time, they are trying to replicate the success that they've had in the button lock community, because the Malibu was in the Mordax, were like the first two kind of premium models that had button locks on them. They, for a while there, they were kind of like special, and they weren't, overmade. They weren't, there wasn't a huge influx. There wasn't a huge, flooding of the market with all these button lock knives until more recently, when a lot of them are in the budget category, and there aren't so many, in my opinion, premium version knives with button locks, and that's okay. It's a cool lock. It's really a fun lock when it works well. And as you guys can see, this one is obviously broken in. I've had this for about a month or so, and I've carried it a lot, fidgeted with it a lot, flicked it a lot. So it's had enough time to get worn in and get broken in. But all in all, it's super fun. That drop is really nice, just very smooth. And then the one thing that I've really been impressed with is this knife has been dead centered from the day I got it, and I have probably flicked this knife thousands of times by now, and I've carried it and it's gotten some use, but there is no blade play. It is locked up super duper tight. There is a smidge of lock rock that you can kind of feel, but overall, like, this thing has been locked up like a bank vault. And I have to be completely honest, that's surprising from a knife company that deals in budget blades, just because most of the time when you flick it a lot and you fidget with it a lot, the pivots tend to come loose a little bit. And I know a lot of different companies don't lock tight their pivots before they send them, so that's a huge reason for that. But I just have been really impressed with it because it has broken in so nicely and become so smooth and so fun. And it's just a nice drop. And at the same time, it's just very secure. There's no blade play, and to me, that's awesome. One other thing that I think is really nice is the button is basically flush with the scale. So there is a recessed pocket right there. Don't want to talk to Siri. There is a recessed pocket right here around the button. And then the button itself is flush with the scale, which is nice because a lot of the other, and I've said this a lot, budget button locks, a lot of other ones, the button is sticking out really far, and you have a tendency to, if you're in a pinch grip, you might push it and accidentally close a knife on yourself, or it's just a nuisance. It kind of looks tacky with having the button stick out so much. But on this, it's just nice and flush and recessed, and it just sits there and looks nice. And I really think this looks phenomenal in the way they had the button, again, recessed and it's flush with the scale. I have to give them a huge round of applause for that, because that's something the Malibu does, that's something the Mordax does, that's something ProTech does. And it was really nice to see Vosteed, sort of take that and put it into their own design. Again, I have to give them a really big round of applause for that one. But overall, action is just really good, really smooth. You can slow roll it out, of course, flick it out, middle finger flick it out, index finger flick it out. Just a very fun, fidget-friendly knife. And that's kind of a whole, I don't want to say point of button locks, because the lock is obviously to, keep the knife secure and open when you're using it. But button locks have always just kind of had this, ideology around it, of it being a more fidget-friendly knife and a fidget-friendly lock. And this one definitely, as I drop it, definitely lives up to its, calling of having a button lock. So, action is 2 thumbs up for me. But next up is Ergos. And this thing is really, really comfortable. So you have, without choking up, I can still get 4 fingers on the knife here. I do have a little bit sticking out of the back. So I'm not, I don't have a ton of room, but I don't feel cramped at all. I don't feel like I'm being, constricted on the knife. It's nice because you have a nice natural restriction point, and then it's a pretty neutral handle. I mean, it swells a little bit towards the back and then it tapers off, but all in all, it's very comfortable. I'm not feeling the paw clip at all due to it being so minimalistic and so flush to the scale. I really like how they did that. And it's easy in and out of the pocket as well. But the real joy is when you use this choil up here. It's probably about a 70-30 choil in favor of the scale to the blade. You just choke up here. The rest of your fingers, your middle finger falls into this restriction point area, and then you get more space for the 2 fingers back here. It is super duper comfortable. It just, you get locked in. The Micarta has a really nice feel to it, and it was like that out of the box. Of course, you guys can see my oils of my hands have darkened it up and have, maybe softened it a little bit, but it was really nice Micarta right out of the box. I don't know if Vosteed produces their own, or again, I don't know if, what their protocol is, if they make their own knives, if they send the designs to somewhere and then they get them made. But all in all, the Micarta is very well done. Again, the fit and finish was a big kind of eye-opener for me on this, just because everything has worked well. The materials are all really, really nice. The lockup, no blade play, anything like that. But, from an ergo standpoint, it's just very comfortable. You do have a little bit of jimping up here to grab onto. But when you're choked up, you're either going to be putting your thumb here, so you're going to kind of get half on, half off of that jimping, or you can, climb the whole way up here and rest your thumb anywhere, which is nice because it's not a crown spine, but you do have a little bit of a, it's kind of a nice chunky landing area for your thumb up in here. So anywhere you land, it's going to be nice, comfortable, and have enough area that it's not going to be like kind of digging into your skin like the Maverick S that I just reviewed for you guys. It had a swedge built down through it, so it almost came to like a pointy, it wasn't a tip, but a pointy, point per se, and it was uncomfortable to put your hand down hard on that knife. Here it's comfortable anywhere you put it, so if you're going to be doing some precise push cuts or anything like that, pinch grip is one of the grips that I highlighted earlier that you don't have to worry about closing the knife on you, because it's a nice button and how they had it all set up. But it's very comfortable. Any reverse reverse draw cut, reverse hammer grip, anything like that, it's very, very comfortable. So no hot spots at all. All the edges are nicely contoured and sanded off, rounded off, whatever you want to say. So very, very, very comfortable. Next up is carry. And I said earlier how there is internal milling on this knife. On both sides, there are 4 pockets milled out. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that combined with this being a, primarily Micarta knife, it's a very lightweight knife. It sits in the pocket very well. I've only carried it in my front right pocket of my jeans, and I have thrown it in my gym shorts when I've been, around the house, and it carries very well in both of them. Primarily, talking about the jeans, it sits down in the pocket. Of course, it's, I did gripe about the paw clip not being backed up. I truly don't know why they couldn't have done that, because in my opinion, that's all unusable space that is usable space right there. They're not using it for anything else. So you could have easily, backed that up and had it pretty much not flush into the corner, but taken away another 1/2 inch or so of that material, and then it would be sitting very deep in your pocket. But You have about that much sticking up out, which, you know, gives you a little bit of grippage when you're going to pull it up out of your pocket, which I know some people like. You know, some knives I do like it, some knives I don't. But, you know, me, I just, that little area of micarta back there is always going to kind of bug me, because I really feel like they could have moved it back up and made it a little bit more deep carry. But again, that's just a personal gripe. You know, something you have to take with a grain of salt. I understand if you guys don't really care about that, but you know, regardless, it sits in the pocket well, deep enough. There's no edges, there's no flipper tab, anything like that, no jimping you're going to catch on. If you happen to get down in here and have to, you know, get chapstick, coins, anything small like that, pill container, you're not going to be catching your hand on anything when you're pulling it back up out. You know, it's not going to cut you, not going to, you know, nick you, grab your hand, anything like that. It carries very, very well. And for a knife of this size, I think the blade is 3.25 inches. So in my opinion, it's a good mid-size knife. It carries in a nice, slim, you know, very streamlined package. Sits in the pocket well, and even in the gym shorts. You know, when I would be around the house getting dinner, you know, just different things. It was, you know, I really couldn't tell it was there. I knew there was a knife in my pocket, but it was light enough and, you know, easy enough to toss in there. No complaints at all, you know, for me on that category. Like I said, the only thing that I have to complain is the paw clip. Like everything else around about this knife is, in my opinion, almost perfect. Like this thing is a fantastic value. It's a fantastic knife. And I guess that leads me into my final category of price point and would I recommend this knife. So on the website for Vosteed, this knife goes for $59. Now, when I bought it, I saw it on Instagram, so I got on it and bought it pretty quickly, because I think it was like the first initial release, and I don't know if there was that many on the website. One second, guys. I'm trying to get to a different website, because like I said, they are all sold out on Vosteed's website. But back to my story of how I paid for it. It was $59, and then I got like a 10 or 15% off code for being like one of the first buyers of it. So all in all, I spent like $54 on this with free shipping, and I would do that, you know, 365 days a year, 24/7. Like that is a fantastic value for this knife. I'm genuinely surprised it's listed for $59. I could really see it being, you know, more, just because I think that's how good it is. Like it could easily be a $75, you know, $80 knife. I'm trying to look on White Mountain Knives, because I could post, nope. Well, they are being sold on White Mountain Knives, which I was going to put in my description and tell you guys to use, like Kevin over at Lefty 10 or Lefty EDC's code Lefty 10, but they're sold out as well. So I'm just going to leave a link to Vosteed's website. So if you guys are interested, you'll just have to go there and then kind of snoop around at your favorite retailers. Or it does say you can put your email in for here at Vosteed, and they will email you when they're available. But for $59, you know, and free shipping, I think too. Yeah, free shipping, free returns, you know, so they got it to me pretty quickly when I bought it. But $59 for 14C28N, a very good looking knife in my opinion. I think it's cool looking. It kind of has, like I said, a drop point and a spear point, had a baby, but you have a nice, you know, a lot of belly down here, comes down to a nice thin edge. It's a nice stone wash, which from a user standpoint hides wear and tear, you know, pretty well, a lot better than satin. But you of course have the button lock. It's nice and recessed, a very smooth action, fun to fidget with, fun to flick. Just all in all, you know, just really smooth. The bearings are smooth. There's no blade play. It's locked up nice and tight. The micarta is nice and soft and subtle, or supple, something like that. It feels great in the hand, and you know, deep carry paw clip could be a little bit deeper, but again, that's my only gripe with this knife. So you know, when it's only the paw clip that needs to be maybe talked about, then it's a good knife, guys. So like I said, I would recommend this to anybody. You know, if you are a collector of high-end stuff, low-end stuff, medium stuff, you know, I think everybody has a spot in their collection for a few budget blades. And I think if you're looking at getting some users, you know, ones you can carry to work, ones you can kind of beat up on and not have to worry about ruining your, you know, $500, $600, $700 knives, I definitely think you should take a look at this, just because it's really fantastic. I'm calling this the, you know, budget button lock of the year, and I definitely think this is a contender for budget knife of the year in my opinion. I have not had anything in the channel that is better than this yet. A few have come close. I really do think the Devo Knives Growler is going to be a contender as well. But you're paying more for this. About excuse me, about 25 bucks more. And I still think that's a fantastic value as well. But, you know, all in all, for 60 bucks, free shipping. And if you happen to find it on White Mountain Knives when it's in stock, you can use someone's 10% off code and, you know, get it for cheaper. So I can't recommend this enough. I really think this is going to be in the collection for a long time. And I think this is going to be a good knife to gift people, you know, maybe people that are new to the knife community, new to knife collecting, or people that have been in the hobby for 10 years. I still think that they would enjoy this knife. It's just that good. So yeah, guys, I'm going to quit rambling and raving and ranting and stumbling over my words because I'm about 21 minutes into this video. I think you guys have a good idea of my feelings on this knife. Hopefully you were able to take a few key points away. If you were on the fence, just go try to find one, guys. It's really that good of a knife. You know, can't recommend it enough. So this was my full review on the Vosteed Knives Raccoon. I'm calling it the budget button lock of the year, and it's going to be a high contender for budget knife of the year for me. So again, their Vosteed's website will be linked down below in the description. It's not currently available on the website, but go check it out. Go scroll around, you know, get some specs on it, read some reviews. You know, don't forget to you know, leave a comment down below, guys. Do you guys also have one of these? Or are you wanting to get one of these? You know, what are your thoughts? Hopefully you've had a, you know, as good as an I can't talk today. As good as an experience as I've had with it. Just, it's really good. So also don't forget to use code 814EDC at Blue Creek Knives, also linked down below. Helps me, helps you, helps Brian. It is a win-win-win. So thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and rest of your day. It's a Monday, guys. I apologize, but I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.